In the winter sky over North Vietnam, radar screens lit up with a familiar pattern, an American strike package. The controllers called it out. The fighters scrambled. MiG-21s climbed fast to do what they'd been doing for weeks, hit the bomb-laden F-105s, and vanish. But this time, the strike package wasn't what it sounded like. This is Operation Bolo, the day American F-4 Phantoms pretended to be prey, and the MiGs took the bait. The problem. By late 1966, the air war over North Vietnam had a rhythm. Dangerous, repetitive, and unforgiving.
This route takes us directly
the
over the
F-105
identified
Thunder
SAM
Chief,
sites.
the Thud,
Stay sharp,
carried
gentlemen.
much of the strike burden. It was fast, heavy, and brave, yet predictable. And the MiG-21 was becoming a nightmare. It didn't need to win long dogfights. It only needed seconds. A quick pass, a missile shot, and then it could disappear under ground control guidance and weather. American crews felt it, like the sky itself had learned their habits. The answer wasn't just more firepower, it was a change in the pattern. The plan that formed wasn't about chasing MiGs around Hanoi. It was about making the MiGs come to a place at a time in a way that favored the Americans, just once, long enough to break the cycle. Colonel Robin Olds and the F-4 Phantom crews of the 8th Tactical Fighter Wing began building a trap. Not a secret weapon, not magic, a performance. Be the Thud Operation Bolo's core deception was simple in concept and hard in execution. Fly like the F-105s, sound like the F-105s, look like the F-105s, at least long enough to get the MiGs airborne. Routes, timing, radio procedures, everything was designed to resemble the strike packages the North Vietnamese controllers expected. Even the electronic signature mattered. And when the MiGs arrived for the easy hit would turn around. Mission morning, January 2nd, 1967. The weather was the kind that makes pilots nervous and planners stubborn. Cloud layers, haze, visibility that could change in minutes. F-4s climbed into that gray world carrying a different kind of payload. Not bombs
This
for
route takes us
bridges,
directly
but the
over
promise
the
of an
identified
air-to-air
SAM sites.
fight.
Stay sharp, gentlemen.
Inside cockpits, there's no soundtrack, just breathing, engine vibration, radio calls, and the constant sense that something is about to happen too fast to stop. The bait is seen. On the ground, North Vietnamese controllers watched their scopes. A familiar pattern formed, one they'd learned to exploit. MiG-21s launched to intercept what they believed were the vulnerable strike aircraft they'd been hunting.
Check the hydraulics.
Up above, the F-4s held the act just long
Copy
enough.
that. System's failing.
The moment the MiGs committed, climbing, turning
Showing
toward
3,
the strike,
maybe 4 new
the situation
contacts, bearing
flipped.
2900.
The bait
Scramble the interceptors.
had teeth.
We are at DFCON 3.
The Sky Titan's radar calls
Control, we have
sharpened.
an unidentified track
Pilots
crossing
scan the clouds,
ATIC.
searching for a shape that shouldn't
Vector
be
the
there.
interceptors to investigate.
Contrails appear and
Condition
vanish. A glint, a dot, then another. The first MiG-21s come in with speed, the kind of speed that makes aircraft look like
Thuds.
thrown knives. But the F-4 Phantom was built for this kind of violence in the air. Big engines, heavy missiles, and crews trained to survive the first terrifying seconds. The engagement turns into a set of fast, separate fights happening at once, small duels scattered across an empty sky. The MiGs realize too late. Somewhere in the chaos, the realization spreads through North Vietnamese cockpits. These aren't F-105s. These are Phantoms, armed, waiting, and turning hard. In air combat, recognition is time, and time is life. The MiGs try to break away, dive, climb, vanish into cloud and ground control calls, but for once, the trap is set in the right place at the right moment. Missiles streak, turns tighten, the sky becomes geometry and instinct. By the end, multiple MiG-21s have been shot down. USAF accounts credit 7 MiG-21s destroyed in the operation, with no American losses in air-to-air combat that day. The silence. After the storm. And then it's over. The way air battles always end, abruptly. The radio grows quiet. The formations regroup. Fuel states, headings, damaged panels, Suddenly, the practical world returns. On the ground in North Vietnam, the cost is immediate. Pilots lost, aircraft lost, confidence shaken. MiG activity drops in the period that follows, because even a system built on patterns must stop and ask, what if it's a trap again? What Bolo really proved. Operation Bolo wasn't a new missile. It wasn't a secret plane. It was a lesson about war in the air. If your enemy learns your routine becomes a weapon against you. Bolo didn't end the air war, but it disrupted a dangerous trend and proved something important, that the contest wasn't only aircraft versus aircraft. It was minds versus expectations, moving at supersonic speed. Close. If you want more true air combat stories told like mini-films, subscribe to Battle Line Stories. Next episode, another mission where the safe plan failed and only seconds of decision made the difference.